Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout to share for Cocoa Vanilla Studio. I have moved on to the Deck the Halls collection, so the next few of my assignments will all be using the wonderful Deck the Halls. I love Christmas, so I'm absolutely super excited to jump in and start using this fabulous collection. So one of the first papers that really caught my eye was this one here, the one with the wreath. I don't know the name of it, but it's gorgeous. It has a gorgeous wreath on there. However, I can't use that just as it is. I have got to cut that out and stand it upright and give it loads of dimension and add loads of bits to it. So that's what I'm doing today. So you can see that I started off by rough cutting it. So I rough cut out the circle from the middle and around the edge, and then I went in with the detail. And I didn't do all the detail on camera because it's quite boring to watch someone fussy cut that. It was quite a detailed fussy cut. It took me quite a while to get around all that detail, but it was well worth it. I've now placed that onto a piece of white cardstock, and I've, with a pencil, roughly marked out where that wreath will go. And I'm going to put a little glow underneath it using one of my Distress Oxides. So this one is Saltwater Taffy, and it's actually one of my favourites because it goes with so many things. This colour must be in lots of collections. But it's just the right tone. It's like that lovely pinky orange, yeah, it's almost like an orangey pink, I think. I can't really I'm not very good at describing things like that. But anyway, it works well. It went really well with the pink and the reds in this collection. So you can see that I've just added a small glow underneath where the wreath will go. And I've put foam pads on the back of my wreath there, and I'm going to stand that up there. Doesn't that look lovely? Yes. So anyway, that's worked out really nicely. I'm super happy with how that's turned out, and now I have to work out what else I'm going to do with this layout, because the wreath is now raised up, but it's going to have a few more details. So I've got my photo that I've just tucked in over on the left hand side there, and I wanted to add a title using one of these beautiful gold titles that's in the collection, and I've opted to go for Magical Memories, and I'm going to try and curve that. Now, it's not really behaving that well. It wants to stay straight, but I'm sticking it in a curve, and I'm going to add either some wet glue or what I actually ended up doing was using a sewing machine to sew that in place so that it couldn't move, because after a little while it kept like pinging back. The bits that were curved, they pinged back so they were straighter. So yeah, I've just sewn that in place with a sewing machine. I'll do that later. So you can see that I have a frame, an ephemera frame. I've pulled that out of one of the ephemera packs, and actually my photo just fitted in there absolutely perfectly. So I'm going to mount my photo with that frame, or frame my photo with that frame. And then I thought about putting that Christmas tree in because it's gorgeous. But then I was worried that things were looking a little bit too busy. So I decided to strip it back a little bit in a little while. I did add, you can see that I've added a number of different elements on top of the wreath, and that's absolutely something that I wanted to do. So I wasn't sure whether I should add more flowers or if I should add icons, and actually I opted for a bit of both. So I have got a present in place, and I've got like a star-shaped cookie. I've got a heart as well. I've got a Santa. I've got the stockings, although the stockings are going to go onto the other side of the photo. But the Christmas tree doesn't survive. That has to go. It took up too much of the white space in the middle, so I felt that it would be better on a different layout. Right, you can see that I've got my photo in place there. I've raised my frame on foam pads so that there's a bit of dimension between the frame and the photo itself. And now I'm just going around adding all of those bits and pieces. The little stockings I'm going to add to the right-hand side of the photo, so there is something in that white space, but nothing too big. I don't quite know what I'm doing right now. Maybe I'm trimming some of the white lines, but whatever I was doing off camera, so sorry about that. I'm distressing the edges, I think, by the looks of it, of all of the ephemera pieces that I'm going to add there. I like to do that. It gives them an edge, and gives them a bit of separation between the background and the ephemera piece itself. So I quite often do distress my ephemera, or I kind of curl it up a bit, especially if it's flowers. I'll curl up the leaves a bit just using my fingernails, and yeah, it just makes everything stand out a bit more, stand proud, and the distressing gives a bit of a separation. You know, it gives everything a white edge. A lot of the ephemera has a white edge anyway, but some of them don't. So the little cookies, the star-shaped one and the heart-shaped one, they haven't got a white edge, a white border on them. So by distressing them, I kind of give them a very tiny white border, but it just is enough to give it that little bit of separation between the background and the ephemera piece itself. Okay, so you can see that I've got my little stockings in place now, and most of my gifts and things are in place on the wreath. You can see that I've added that little chipboard banner there that says "Oh, what fun!" That's under magical memories, and I'm going to add a few some other little bits and pieces around the wreath at some point as well. Just adding in some flowers and mostly some leaves. I wanted things that like stood up a bit, and I felt that the wreath itself already had lots of flowers, so I didn't need to add loads more floral ephemera, but I wanted a few leaves in place. So yeah, so that works really well. And I'm sticking everything on with foam pads, so everything on top of the wreath stands up. And that's the whole point, because the wreath itself was flat on the page. I've fussy cut it out of the paper, stood it up and curled all the edges. And then everything that I've added on top of the wreath is also stood up as well. So I've got lots and lots of layers of dimension going on there. So that's just what I like on scrapbook layouts. So that works for me. So now coming in with what I would call enamel dots. They're not enamel dots, they're kind of puffy stars. I'm just dotting those around the whole of the wreath. And I'm adding a few of the circle shapes to the centres of flowers. And there's one in the middle of that cookie. Yeah, so just adding a few little dots around the layout, basically. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's come together. I don't know if I think I've now sewn my title in place as well. So that now will not move, which is good. Yeah, just adding those last little bits and pieces. I've come in with the chipboard there. I just added a few little bits there. So I've added a little blue chipboard heart to the stockings that's on the right of the photo. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I need to add some splatters, and I'm going to go for some gold paint, which I'm mixing with some water so that I can splatter it easier with my paintbrush. So just coming in there and adding splatters in a few areas basically around the whole wreath. I think I was going to add just in a couple of areas, but then I just got carried away and did the whole wreath, because you can never have too many gold splatters, right? And there we go. That is my layout complete. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing how that came together. It ended up being quite a busy wreath, but I love it. I love all the Christmas icons. I was tempted to put all the Christmas things on this layout. It's my first Christmas layout of the season. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that layout. That was Nikki Rowland for Cocoa Vanilla Studio using the Deck the Halls collection.